Guys, welcome to Checks and Balances. It's Ashawa Regan, your host. And with me today, we have Hannah Merinde. Hannah Merinde, you work in the tourism sector.
Yeah.
And today we'll be talking about tourism in Uganda. As we all know, tourism is among the biggest foreign exchange earners for the country, right?
Yes.
So it's quite a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. So before we go deep into this conversation, first introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Okay, I'm so happy to be here, actually. I've always been watching the show. I'm a good fan of the show. So, my name is Merinde Hannah, and I'm the founder of Adventures with Locals, which is an enterprise that really focuses on making sure that local people in the community benefit more from tourism. You know, for a long time, a lot of these tourists come and they spend a lot of time in 5-star hotels, which are owned by big foreign investors. And local people are left the same. People who stay near Bwindi are left the same. So if $600 for every person who comes and sees the gorillas does not trickle down to the community, then we shall not see growth. So Adventures with Locals, we promote local experiences, local homestays, everything that is local.
Yeah, so for someone, let's say who's watching from like Kenya, because we have fans from Kenya.
Yeah.
How would you describe Uganda to someone who has never come? How would you convince them, yo, come to Uganda?
First of all, let's just say there's a survey that was done recently about the happiest country. Can we just agree that Uganda is the happiest country?
Are we really the happiest country though? I don't think so.
No, let's just be honest.
We're just, I don't think, okay.
They said Finland or some country, I think Finland they said it was the happiest country. But I think
according to Western standards,
yes.
Yeah.
But I think there's a difference in Uganda. There is this happiness, there is this energy in Uganda, first of all, even before we go to the wildlife and nature. There is this energy in Uganda. People in Uganda are so friendly, they are so happy, they're always willing to help. So that energy is really good in Uganda. I've at least for the few places I've been to, when I always be like, oh my God, Uganda is really good, because I wouldn't have been treated like that.
And you know, people are cold.
Yes.
And it's the first thing, like let's say someone who's a foreigner comes to Uganda, like everyone is smiling, everyone is very welcoming. But anyway, I think we're a happy lot. Mm-hmm. But so about tourism, tell me about the sites, like what you guys market like normally, like
Me, when it comes to Uganda, a lot of people ask me like, what would I market? What would I love the most? Uganda has so much if we were to really delve into it. First of all, from culture to sites, but I would go back to the biggest seller, which is the gorillas right now, because when you look at the gorillas being, of course, it was an endangered species, and now they have managed to increase the numbers. Actually, we had a baby boom during the COVID-19 period, from 400 to now over 1,000 species.
So when people went home, nature reclaimed its glory.
That was one of the good things about the COVID-19 period. Because of over-tourism, some sites were able to regain and conservation was able to take place. Now, when you look at the gorilla experience, when you go to Rwanda, they still I think the experience right now in Rwanda is 1,500. Congo, unfortunately, has a lot of insurgencies, but it's also a beautiful country. But when you come to Uganda, it is just simply $600. And now it has even been reduced to $400 and $150 for Ugandans who have not been there.
150,000.
Yes, $150,000
permit.
Yes, for a permit. For East Africans, not only Ugandans, East Africans. So I do not know, if you haven't seen the gorillas, I do not know what you're waiting for.
I think we should catch the next bus.
Of course, that is the biggest seller for most people, because it is an endangered species. And in Uganda, we have over like 4 sites where you can go. There is Rushaga, there is Ruhija, there is Kuringo. Then you can also go to Mugahinga, where you see the golden monkeys and the silverback. So it's where gold meets silver. So I would start with the gorillas. Then you would go to pure wildlife. We have the big 5 from the buffaloes to the lions, and okay, the big 5 in wildlife, we would now go back to there, and we have over 10 national parks with that experience to be seen. So also that wildlife would be the second experience. Then I'll talk about, of course, the River Nile. We are the source of the longest river in the world, which is the River Nile. So it's also a good experience to go to the source of the Nile, which is just here in Jinja. And actually, Jinja has so many affordable places to stay. If someone is looking for an experience, just to go and see the source of the Nile, just to see the different places. I always see people asking me, like, they are willing to spend so much money when they go to Dubai, when they want to go to New York, but you've not even been around
not experienced
here.
the country.
Yes.
Yeah, which brings me to my next question: local tourism, because I've seen like a surge in people, visiting places. So sometime back I was in Bundiujo and we had only black people, like at a tourist location. Like it was wow to me.
Yeah.
So like local tourism, do you think it's on the rise? Do you think like people should embrace it more? Or how do you encourage someone to start traveling, to experience Uganda more? How are you guys marketing, Uganda to like its own people?
Actually, I would say that they've tried. A lot of accommodations have tried, and I would say I'm so happy because during COVID-19 we have seen a rise in domestic tourism, a very big rise, and I'm always happy when I see Ugandans posting about Uganda, and they're always happy in places in Uganda because you yourselves are everybody is an ambassador. We're the ones to market. Yes,
yeah, true.
We're the ones to market Uganda. So the problem now would be the source of information. There is lack of coordination where the information is coming, where it should be collected or where it should be provided. But most of these accommodations, when COVID-19 hit, they reduced the prices significantly to promote domestic tourism. The only problem was the source, where to get the information. People want to travel, but they do not know where to get that source of information. But most of the accommodations, they really cut down. Even the very big hotels, which were very expensive, they really came down to appeal to the local tourists. Because for at least since last year, there's been a very sharp decrease in of course, the foreign market.
Yeah, foreign market.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, most of these lodges have always been targeting foreigners, right?
Yes.
So how do we change it? Like someone who's, because I know something, you're even in accommodation, you have some accommodation place in Kabale. So how do you target like local tour? How do you create like a good experience in terms of accommodation for Ugandans, like instead of targeting these white people and all? What do you think should be done to
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. And it always comes back to as an entrepreneur, you want to make profit. And at that point, when tourism was on the rise, that is before COVID-19, the biggest market, of course, was white people, and they were willing to spend. But what I've seen the culture with Ugandans, they're still embracing travel, and they still have some time to learn and catch up. So when it comes to that, I think it's just a conflict of interest for now, because imagine focusing on a client that is going to give you $50 versus a client who's willing to spend $300. So it becomes a bit like a bit complicated. And then when you separate the accommodations, it becomes segregation. So that's where the biggest issue is: should we do for profit, or should we create something specifically for the local market? So, but I'm happy to see that Ugandans are now, especially the working class, they are now embracing travel. They are now understanding the reason why a place is costed like this, the reason why you cannot pay this little amount of money. Because I remember when we started local packages, someone would give you 150,000 and say they want to sleep in a place with a bathtub. How are you going to manage all those things? They want 150,000. On that 150,000, they want a place that has a bathtub and a good view. They want to sleep in para at 150,000, which was very unrealistic. So the good thing is Ugandans are starting to learn.
Yeah, they're starting to embrace the whole thing of it's not a product you're buying an experience. So it's not all about money. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So which brings you to the next question. As you've said about people, then you've talked about the nature and everything. Mm-hmm. Don't you think we are over marketing things that are natural, things that were made by God? Mm-hmm. How about us, things we've made? Do we have the right architecture? Do we have like the right tourist sites that were created by us as Ugandans? What can you market, like let's say beyond let's say wildlife? What can you market in Uganda? Something that's made by us, by Ugandans.
Oh, yeah, that's also a very nice question and a very good question to ask Ugandans, because the problem with that people are having is things that are built and made by Ugandans are most of the time looked at as inferior products. You understand? Because you know, even buy Uganda build, Uganda failed, because Ugandans will only believe a product is good when it's foreign, which is kind of now the problem. But when you ask about things that have been made by Ugandans for Ugandans, I would say probably yes, there's still, our culture was made by Ugandans. Apart from when there is culture, there's that experience of having our own culture. Then we look at things like fashion that is growing, and actually the fashion is also, yes, fashion and art is also a source of tourism, and that hasn't been really looked at very much. And also like that whole culture experience of coming for even food, even the food experience is also, yes, that whole experience has also not been delved in to really understand how we can really market things that have been made by us, which is also a very interesting thing. I think I saw someone who was talking about fashion tourism, but then the concept didn't really come out well. But I think that's also a place that Ugandans would, yes, tourism in the sense like just how you see Paris is it's the fashion capital. People will travel to Paris just because of the fashion and everything. And now in Africa, it would go to Nigeria or Ghana, because that's where they feel like the fashion capital is, Nigeria and Ghana and South Africa. But Uganda also has a different twist and vibe of their own fashion and even night experience. Our night experience, actually, if you're asking, is different from any other country. People respect our nightlife. So if you're saying that things that are really made by Ugandans, then that would be the whole experience that can also be marketed as well.
That's really good. So Hannah, I think it was good having you on the show, and I don't know if you have anything to add on, and especially about adventures with locals.
Mine is just adventures with locals. Mine is just to tell Ugandans it's possible. It's all about having a plan, saving. Most Ugandans want to wake up in the morning and say, okay, I'm going to find myself in Chove, and you're earning 800,000 a month. It's not possible. Yeah. Like, you have to plan. Because the people you look at, white people, the people you admire, you see them here. They'll tell us, we have interacted with them. I've been saving for 3 years for this trip. You look at this person, they've been saving for 3 years. But for you, you want to wake up one day and just find yourself in Chove, you want to find yourself in Para. So it's all about saving, having a timeline. You can say, this year I'm going to visit 3 places and I'm going to save like this for this amount of places. But don't
you think that's a solution like tour companies are supposed to come up with? Because let's say people paying in installments, because I can't put money on mobile money, or I can't take money to the bank saving for a trip. But when I have to buy cows or goods at home, so I have a feeling tour companies are the ones who are supposed to come up with that solution, where they're like, okay, you give us 100,000 for a month. By the time the year ends, you have 1 million. You can take you to very many tourist destinations. Yeah. So once again, Hannah, thanks for coming to the show. It was a delightful conversation and very informative.
Yeah,
guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the notification button, so every time that we upload an episode, you get to catch it first. Thank you.